Hi, everybody. I'm a registered psychologist in Edmonton. This is the first time I'm doing this. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about what I do in my practice. So I'm a registered psychologist here in Edmonton, and I have a practice of multiple contractors. We work a lot with men, couples. We work, our passion is to work with men. And I do something called EMDR. It's my passion, actually. I love EMDR, and EMDR stands for eye movement, desensitization, and reprocessing. And so basically what happens with EMDR is that I like to help people process difficult memories that they've had that are still haunting them today. And it's really neat. It kind of activates something similar to REM sleep, where what we do is we get the client to think about a particular memory and to think about the associated feelings, the emotions, the sensations that they might feel. And usually there's a negative belief attached to it. For example, if somebody has a traumatic memory that presented a lot of fear, where they feared their life. So say, for example, the belief of I'm going to die. We would get them to picture that memory, that belief. And in the session, what we do is we get them to follow our eye movements or our hand movements. Their eyes move back and forth. And basically what that does is it activates something in the brain similar to REM sleep. And we're working with a system called the what is it called now? It's the it's something that helps the brain to it's the adaptive information processing model, right? So there's an adaptive information processing model in the brain, and the idea is that if we are given the right conditions to process a memory, we can actually help somebody get through it. With that eye movement, it's activating something similar to REM sleep. So when you go to sleep, you're processing information, you're processing through a memory, you're trying to make sense of everything. And that's what helps us to feel refreshed and energized in the day, as if we've been able to process what's going on in the day. That's why we have crazy dreams. So what we do with EMDR is we activate something similar to REM sleep as we're processing a memory. And so what that does is it helps you to process on the right and the left side of the brain. And all of a sudden, we find that people's distress levels are reduced by being able to process through those certain memories. So one of the reasons why I think that men benefit from this is because a lot of guys come in for therapy. They don't necessarily want to talk about their feelings and get into it too much. So EMDR is not a talk therapy, but it runs you through a real structured approach. And one of the great things about that is that you don't necessarily have to talk a lot about everything. A lot of men aren't into talking. So then we just choose some targets to focus on. We get you to reprocess some of those, and it helps you reduce some of the distress that you might be feeling. And sometimes we don't necessarily understand why we're reacting the way we are. Maybe you get angry over certain things, or you get triggered, but sometimes they are related to different events that have happened in the past. And so maybe like that might be you, where you just feel like, there's some events in your life that might still impact you today when you think about them, or you might feel like very reactive in relationships or in your current relationship. And so when we get together, we'll talk about kind of what are those symptoms that you're having. What are the symptoms that you're having? What are the triggers that you're having? And maybe seeing if EMDR might be a good fit for you. some people going through it, they'll have these moments where they're like, I don't know what happened, but I just don't feel distressed about this anymore as we're processing through. So some people might not get much out of it. But for those that do, I find it can be really life-changing, and it can happen really fast. And so that's to me the difference between, working with a lot of my female clients, is that some of the women that I work with, it's more on a lot of women generally want to talk about things and process through in talk therapy. And really, I can't generalize there, but overall, I'd say from maybe a stereotype with men is that they just want to get to the root of things. They want to fix it. And I say EMDR is a really good place to start with that. So if you're interested, I offer a free consult. So you can sign up for it on our website at www.imentalhealth.ca. You can also click the link in the description box or on my page here. And so that's a little bit about me, my practice. We work with couples, individuals, families, all kinds of different issues. And so if that's you, feel free to check us out. And we offer a free consult. So have a great day.